Hello everyone, welcome to my booktube. I'm a romance reader and I love all things to do with books, so if you like this sort of content, don't forget to subscribe and let's get into the video. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing my most anticipated book releases as of 2025. So these are the ones that I want to be able to read when they get released in 2025 and not the whole list of what is coming out. So these are the ones that I want to read and I'm excited to see being released. So one of the books that I'm excited to see released is Beg, Borrow or Steal by Sarah Adams. Now, as I've just read, this is actually part of a series which is of the When in Rome, so I definitely need to read the other two books before this one comes out. But again, I really liked The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams and definitely wanted to read more of her books, and this one again is going to be added to that list. So this one, I'm going to read you out the blurb. So it says, Emily Walker hates having her carefully crafted world disrupted by anyone, most of all her legendary nemesis, Jack Bennet. He's the opposite of the wonderful hero she dreams up in her double life as a romance writer, which is why Emily was perfectly happy when Jack left Rome, Kentucky mid-school year with his fiancée. The last thing Emily saw coming was Jack's return at the start of summer after calling off the wedding and ending his relationship. But he's here to stay as a colleague and her neighbour. Oh, this sounds so good. Jackson Bennett is glad to be back, eager to renovate his house and work on the next mystery novel under his best-selling pen name. But when he realises he's now neighbours with one woman who has always pushed his buttons, he discovers something he's even more excited for: thwarting Emily and her petty plan to sabotage his return. With their chemistry fueled at all-time high, Emily accidentally sends an email to their school's principal that could reveal her secret literary side hustle. She needs to steal back her manuscript, and Jack, she hates to admit, is just the man to help her. Surprisingly, Jack agrees. Will their unlikely alliance put an end to their rivalry, or could it lead to a steamy plot twist they never saw coming? That is a bit of me. So I definitely need to read the other two before I read this one, but that sounds a bit of me. That is a bit of me. Good. I love a good enemies to lovers. I love where they want to rip each other's throats out before something actually happens. So that is one of my most anticipated reads as of the year. The next book that I have is The Crash by Freida McFadden. Now, I am predominantly a romance reader and this is what this channel is about, romance books, but I have been getting into thriller a little bit more and I absolutely love Freida McFadden's books since I've started reading them. So this one is definitely on my most anticipated reads. So this one is due to be released as of January 28th. So this one is about Tegan. So Tegan is 8 months pregnant, alone, and desperately wants to put her crumbling life in a rearview mirror. So she hits the road, planning to stay with her brother until she can figure out her next move. But she doesn't realise she's heading straight into a blizzard. Of course. She never arrives at a destination. Stranded in rural Maine with a dead car and a broken ankle, Tegan worries she's made a terrible mistake. Then a miracle, she is rescued by a couple who offers her a room in their warm cabin until the snow clears. But something isn't right. Tegan believes she was waiting on a storm, but as time ticks by, she comes to realise she's in grave danger. This safe haven isn't what she thought it was, and staying here may have been her most deadly mistake yet. And now she must do whatever it takes to save herself and her unborn child. So that is what The Crash is about. I am very excited because, like I said, I love Freida McFadden. I've read quite a few of her books now. There's only one of them that I've not been a big fan of, but the rest of them, I love them. I love the twists and turns she always puts in. I love how she makes you think during a book and gets your mind whirring about different characters and guessing who it is and who it isn't. And any book that she releases, I will read, no matter what it is. And I am very excited about that one as well. So the next book that I have is also apparently going to be released on the 28th of January, which is Once Smitten, Twice Shy. This is the third book in the Wilmot sisters stories. So this is by Chloe Lies, or Lees, however you say her name. I don't really know how to pronounce her name, but that's how I pronounce it. So the first book is Two Wrongs Make a Right, which, as you know, I absolutely love that story. The next one is Better Hate Than Never, which I have currently read, and this is the third book in that story. So this one is Jules's side. So this one says, since heartbreak entered the scene, Juliet Wilmot, once a hopeless romantic, has sworn off love. But when she's presented with a chance to revisit romance purely for practice with the gorgeous off-limits guy she keeps running into, it feels like a sign from the universe. Quiet, shy, Will, or Sinner, don't know how to pronounce the name, knows happily ever after isn't on his horizon. Problem is, for the sake of his family business, marriage is. Resigned to the inevitable, but with no confidence he can woo a wife. He can hardly say no when fate hands him the alluring, unattainable woman he keeps crossing paths with, offering to help him learn the ropes of romance. Neither of them are looking for love. Jules and Will agree they're the perfect pair to practice romance, except that practicing to perfection leads to an irresistible attraction. Their once smitten hearts, though still twice shy, might have a happily ever after written in the stars and after all. So, if you don't know, if you've never read these stories, then Jules is a bit more of an outgoing character, and obviously she's written with another man that is quite shy. So I think that's obviously where the title comes from. So I'd love to see if Jules gets her happy ending after all, and I'm hoping it's better than the last one because I didn't really enjoy that one. It wasn't my favourite, but I'm hoping this one's better. But obviously I have to read this one as well because I want to know what happens to Jules and how her story ends. So that is another one that I'm excited to read this year. So the next book that I have is by an author that I've never read any books of, but the book sounds good. So this is called First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. This one is due to be released as of 11th of February 2025. So this one says, Aidan Valentine has a secret. He's fallen out of love with love, and as the host of Baltimore's romance hotline, that's a bit of a problem. But when a young girl calls into the station asking for dating advice for her mum, the interview goes viral, thrusting Aidan and heartstrings into the limelight. Lucy Stone thought she was doing just fine. She's had a good job, an incredible family, and smart, slightly devious kid. But when all of Baltimore is suddenly scrutinising her love life, or lack thereof, she begins to question if she's happy as she thought. Maybe a little more romance wouldn't be such a bad thing. Everyone wants Lucy to find a happy ending, even the handsome temperamental man she's calling the shots. But when sparks start to fly behind the scenes, Lucy makes the final call between the radio sponsored Happily Ever After or the man in the headphones next to her. That sounds good. It does sound good. So I'm excited to see what that one's about because, like I said, I've never read anything by B.K. Borison. If it is in third person, I'll more than likely won't pick it up, but I don't know because it hasn't been released yet, so we'll have to see about that one. But it does sound good from the blurb that I've read. So that is due to be released, like I said, 11th February 2025. But I've also seen it's supposed to be released on the 13th February, so either one. Between the 11th and the 13th February it's supposed to be released. And the next book is by an author that I absolutely love, which is Ali Hazelwood, and this one is called Deep End. So this one is due to be released as of the 4th of February. And the reason why I want to read this one is because I love Ali Hazelwood stories. My favourite book by her is Love on the Brain, and anything else that she writes I will pick it up. There's only one that I've never picked up before is Bride, because I'm not into that sort of thing, but every other book that is about romance and anything like that I will pick up and I will definitely read. So this one says, Scarlett Vandermeer is swimming upstream. A junior at Stanford, a student athlete who specialises in platform diving. Scarlett prefers to keep her head down, concentrating on getting into med school and on recovery from injury that almost ended her career. She's no time for relationships, at least that's what she tells herself. Swim captain, world champion, all-around aquatics golden boy Lucas, wow, that's a really hard name to say, Blomqvist thrives on discipline. It's how he wins gold medals and breaks records. Complete focus with every stroke. On the surface, was that a spin there? On the surface, Lucas and Scarlett have nothing in common until a well-guarded secret slips out and changes everything. So they start an argument, and as the pressure leading to the Olympics heats up, so does their relationship. It was supposed to be just a temporary, mutually satisfying fling, but when staying away from Lucas becomes impossible, Scarlett realises that her heart might be treading into dangerous water. So it sounds a bit like an enemies to lovers, and I know that Ali Hazelwood can write a good enemies to lovers story because Love on the Brain was very much similar, and I absolutely love the way she writes. So I'm hoping this one is just as good. So yeah, that is released as of the 4th of February 2025. So there wasn't that many books that I'm excited to see, but obviously there's a lot more coming out in 2025, but these are the ones that I'm most excited to see and read myself. So if you did enjoy that video, please give it a big thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.